In like a lion, out like a lamb. Hello, Miss Becky. How are you?
I am very good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Happy March.
Yes, a little glimpse of spring. I've got little flowers trying to pop up and then a dusting of snow, but that's okay. I saw the glimmer.
That's right. Did you see the almost 70 next week? It made me a very
Oh,
happy female.
do you see my bright shirt? This is me trying to like tune it all in, come on summer, come on.
I might have a tank top on today. Shh.
Don't get carried away.
That's right. That's right. All right, we're gonna jump right in because to your comment yesterday, how is it that we always have so much to talk about these days? But I think it's exciting because that means that we've got a lot of impact, and I want to make sure we talk about Neopat a little bit. So, all right, as we normally do, let's talk about some of the things that we did in February, and then we'll move forward. So, we started February with a super successful pre-training for our graveside services, which shout out to Megan again. I feel like Miss Megan is getting a lot of airtime these days, but she has been a huge asset and addition to our kind of leadership team in taking this off of yours and my direct plate. And one of her initiatives for this year was to kind of get our graveside training team or graveside burial team some training that was easier to understand because you and I maybe weren't doing the best job at being able to forecast that. So we had our first virtual pre-training, and remind me, we had like 13 or 14 people on. It
Yeah,
was a full
it was
Zoom
a nice
screen. It
turnout.
was amazing. Um, so that was fantastic. It was really great to meet some of the ladies that we know follow us and are interested in being a part of that team. So we did that. And it makes me feel good when I know that we have people who are interested in spreading our mission. It was a good heart moment for me.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Everybody was attentive, had some great questions, and I think it was a great introduction for folks.
Yeah. So we'll continue that on. If you're interested in being a part of our graveside team, please send us a message and we will get you the information. We will be doing those throughout the year. And even if you're not sure you want to be on our graveside team, those sessions are set up to be information. So you can come to them, learn a little bit more, and decide if it's right for you. That's not a commitment, it's more information. So that was great. Then Becky and I got all dressed up and we went to the Neopat Gala. So Becky went by herself last year. We went together this year and drug our husbands along and kicked up our heels for an evening. So,
You
Becky,
picked
do you want
something
to
up
give
nice.
everybody an insight about what Neopat actually is?
Yeah, so Neopat is a Northeast Ohio Patriot organization, veteran forward. Really, their mission, I don't have it up in front of me to actually quote, so I'm going to ad lib it. But really, they're looking to connect resources across Northeast Ohio for veterans in a variety of ways. They've had initiatives that have worked with homelessness and veteran populations, whether it's assistance with food, finances, linking them to other benefits that they're entitled to, connecting families and groups together, all of those things. So obviously that resounded very well with our group and Kat and I, as you know, we like to think of ourselves as the multi-tool for the cemetery. If we don't have an answer, we can find somebody who does. Neopat, when we met with them, said, if I'm not the guy, maybe I know the guy. So, they do a lot of fundraising, close work with the USO. Tanya Kay, I don't want to butcher her last name, but she was recognized for her volunteerism, both with the USO and the veteran community there. They have a lot of support of Gold Star families as well. So they give a Kirby Wilcox Award every year. That's a recognition to a lost service member, and usually the families are there to receive and discuss a little bit and kind of ground everybody back in our why. And I think that's really the heart of the event, right, is looking around that room and seeing all these like-minded people that are all there to support veterans and their families and the cause. It's kind of overwhelming.
Yeah, that organization has always been super kind to us. In our
Mhm.
very beginning, they stepped in and wanted to support us. We have been able to, in turn, support them in terms of resources. It's always great. I think Becky and I are always amazed when we are in a room like that, and way more people than we realize know who we are, and we don't always know who they are. So, especially when it's such a great mission of an environment like that, for so many people to walk up and want to be a part of what we have created as well. It was definitely not a lot of dry eyes in that room
No.
when they start handing out recognition and seeing the impact that happens in this area. So that was a great evening. And like Becky mentioned, I think the mission that they carry, which is to connect resources for veterans. And when we are able to come alongside and say, we're trying to connect organizations, those two missions are 100% not colliding, but running parallel and just serving each other all over the place. And so it's really, really great. It was cool. I think, and to be fair, Becky and Kevin were recognized as veterans. Of course, I was standing behind you both, so I took a picture of your backs. And so when I went to post it on social media, I was like, "Well, that's great. We're not putting that picture on social media."
I
So,
forgive you for
yeah, yeah. Kevin's parade rest looked really great on my camera. It was unintentional. So it was a great night. They raised a ton of money. And I think very quickly it was evident also that our organization has maybe a similar event and much smaller scale coming maybe in 2026. So that was cool. All right. So let's talk about some of the things we've got coming. It is obviously the nicer weather is going to ramp up some of the events we have coming at our
that.
cemetery. So we will get all of this posted as much as we can and as concisely as we can, but that gets a little daunting. So the first thing that is new posted, we finally have a date, is flag inventory. So we'll be doing Memorial Day flags on April 5th.
Mhm.
We are only going to do one day. We feel like last year we learned a ton. We feel like we have a process. So it is a Saturday. It will be at the cemetery. So April 5th, it's on our Facebook page. I think it is on our website. So don't forget, this year we have an annual calendar under our events page. So you can see it there. You can come dress for the weather. It is a little chilly on this day. And if you have a folding table, bring a folding table. If you have a Boy Scout troop, if you have an ERG at your organization, at your work that wants to come, any of those opportunities, come. It will be an all-day event. We have 35,000 flags that have to be counted and inventoried. So this is it's a task. So we'll also say this is not a young child event, but if your kids can count effectively and inventory, then they're good. But this is not it's not a kindergartner task. It's maybe a second grade or higher, I would say, maybe task that you could, if they have parental guidance. Please make sure you RSVP to us. If you have a large group, you can send us an email in Ohio Western Reserve Ladies at gmail.com, or you can get on our Facebook page and let us know that you're coming. For our graveside burials team, if you already have your graveside burials kind of certification, we need you to send an email to Megan and get us all of your information. It's in the Facebook group. If you went through training the other day, you know how to send that email. We need you to get that information to Megan. We are going to start sending out a weekly email to all of you. Please get this information out. We're having a little bit of a problem getting all the information a little bit more concise. So we need you to send that email. If you have questions, then reach out. But again, this only pertains to you if you've gone through training or if you're going through training. If you are signed up to do graveside burials, please make sure you're signing in at the admin office in the morning. They need to know you're there. As Becky refers to it, it's for counting teeth. We need to know that you are there. We cannot have a member of our organization there for the day, living up to a different set of expectations. The rifle teams have to sign in. The pick team has to sign in. We have to sign in. Additionally, we keep track of our hours for a grant process. So we're please don't make me ask you twice. Okay, tomorrow, in addition to being my baby's 21st birthday, it happens to be, I know, right? I look 21.
Happy
He
birthday,
can't be 21.
Kayla.
And Parker, it's Parker's birthday.
Oh, it's Parker. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
my
that's
baby.
right. That would make sense.
No, she's older. I know, right? How is it possible?
Well, and I was at his graduation, so this is starting to age our group here. So
so it is International Women's Day tomorrow. So I thought it would maybe make sense for us to go back and talk a little bit about Arlington ladies. It occurred to me listening to your poor husband stumble over Arlington ladies' story this weekend at Neopat that maybe we should revisit the story because I know there's a lot of people who maybe don't know. So we are still one of only 5 organizations that is following in the likeness of Arlington ladies. Becky, do you want to maybe kick us off and I'll jump in again about maybe the foundation of what Arlington ladies was when it got started?
So, I mean, yeah, I had actually just looked on the website, not, all that recently. I think it was formally named back in the 40s and 50s, but I think the tradition had been longstanding prior to that. So the Arlington ladies were stood up to represent the families of the interred and to ensure that no veteran was buried alone, which is, you'll recognize as our mission as well. So the Arlington ladies are at Arlington National Cemetery every day that there's a burial. They attend services and stand in for family when there's not family there. So that was the call to action 3 years ago for Ohio Western Reserve National Cemetery. And that is how our group was formed and why we have that we do.
I think it's interesting when we look all the way back, into the World War component that started them. The war veterans' families were also at war, and so these women were kind of all that was there to intern these bodies, and that's kind of where that story began. They were all that was home, and now we are fortunate enough to not be in a wartime, but there are still so many veterans that are coming to the cemetery without family. We just had a message this week from a gentleman who said, I already know I won't have family. Will you stand in? And again, the message is just so wide. It's wider than Becky and I even realize, and it's showing itself every time. But those ladies had the foresight to show up. And now all these years later, in excess of 100 years, organizations are standing themselves up. And so I just think it's really cool, especially when we have a chance to recognize not only their efforts, but what our ladies are still willing to do locally. I think it's kind of cool. I think we're doing a good thing.
We are. It's been an incredible journey. And, I'm grateful for them laying that groundwork and showing us the way.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we've got a couple of other events coming up. Obviously, St. Patrick's Day. Hopefully, you all wear a little green. If I see you, I will pinch you. We are going to attempt to do our spring meeting. We did hear from all of you that you would like to do in-person meetings. We're going to try to do an in-person meeting on March 18th. No, I do not have a location for you yet. Please stand by. I will get that for you. And then we do have a fall meeting slated. You can get on the events tab and we will plan one. But again, this is a newer thing for us this year and we're trying to sort out what that looks like. But March 18th is slated for what we have for a spring meeting. And if we do things well, we will continue to do a spring meeting and a fall meeting that is strictly Ohio Western Reserve ladies. I will tell you, Becky and I are working diligently to get our 501c3 under control, sorting out our events. Obviously, we've got some Reads Across America issues going on. Like our organization as a whole has some issues that we need to have under control. Okay, our events throughout the year are starting to show up on the calendar. So our SAMS event, which is at the Maps Museum, is now slated. We need volunteers. Please get on there. I need like 8 to 10 people to volunteer across those 2 days. So if you're interested, please get on there. The Medina Ruck that Becky did with her family last year, we now have the date for that. That's on there. Lorain County Rev 22 is on there. Becky and I are ambassadors for that this year. So if you're interested, get on there. There's tons of events that have already started. So you guys didn't want last minute events. They're on there. Okay. Then the other thing is Memorial Day planning. So we're working with Josh and Jackie already for the events. They're showing up. They're great. We have 2 new items, both the ball caps and the t-shirts. If you've already ordered a t-shirt, it's sitting right here in my office. I have it for you. Come to an event, pick it up. Or if you need a t-shirt, you need to get them ordered so that you have them for Memorial Day. The hat cutoff is St. Patrick's Day. The t-shirt cutoff is May 12th. So decide what you want. The hats will not get continued, period. It's like a one-shot deal. And then I wanted to take a really fast shout out, Jill White, who has been steadfast. I mean, Jill is everywhere. We have a couple of these ladies, man. They are just everywhere. They are wherever we ask for it. At one point, Jill had knee surgery. She was still just doing stuff in the background. She's about to have another one, so send her all the positive vibes. She and her husband have done a paper wreath campaign, and she's like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna just kind of sort this out." Then all of a sudden, she has it in 3 locations. She has it in 2 American Legion posts and her church, and she's raised over $500 across these 2 locations. I don't even know. If you need best practices, please reach out to Jill. She's amazing. Send her some kudos. She's going to be one of our just shout outs today. And by the way, she's getting ready to have some knee surgery, so send her some positive vibes. What else? What did we do? We might get under the 20-minute mark this time. What else have we got going on?
I think you hit all the highlights. Again, just as it warms up, get out and get on that the burial schedule. We want to see some representation, and remember to check in at the PIC when you're doing so.
Admin building, not the PIC.
Right, admin building.
Okay, awesome. If you have questions, so you can put them here. If you're watching the replay, comment so that our video gets some additional traction. If you have questions, let us know. We want to bring you what you want to know. Good morning, Renee. We want to let you know in these information videos. We want to tell you what you want to know. So tell us what questions you have. Next live will be April 4th here, same place, same time, same place, same information. And we just really appreciate you guys. We're excited to see everybody out now that the sun is shining. All right, my friend. It was good to see you. I know. No more snow. All right. It was good to see you. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this community. We are actually making an impact, and that is super exciting. So we can't do that without you. All right, everybody, stay warm. A few more times.
Bye. We'll see you soon.
Bye.